Hi guys, welcome back to All Things Wholesome. This is a channel where we discuss all things that teaches about money skills. In today's video, I am going to talk about how I improved my relationship with money. And I have not always been this confident with money. I started taking money seriously back in 2022, and that's when I created this channel so that I can teach as I learn. So I've been learning as I teach you guys, and really the journey has been amazing. I'm now confident with money, and they always say that confidence comes with learning. Before I continue with the video, I just want to say this: I turned 31 on the 14th of February. I'm super excited, not as excited as 30 because I was so excited when I was 30 and that year showed me flames, so I'm trying to keep calm. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. Happy birthday to myself. The first thing I realized about money is that it is emotional. Most of our financial decisions are based on emotions and not on logic. So we spend to feel better. We spend to look a certain image so that we can feel a certain way. We give when we don't have to avoid guilt. So most of the things that we do is emotional. And until you fix your emotions, your traumas, your old belief, no budget will work for you. You need to make sure that emotionally you are stable when it comes to your finances. Most of the people are emotional when it comes to money. We avoid money talks because of the shame that we are going to feel if a person knows that we are not even living the same way that we look, because most of the people, they look better than their financial situation. So you would ask yourself, how are you looking this good if ever you are struggling this much? So it's about just emotions. So once you manage your emotions around money, understanding that money is a tool, it's not something that that should define you or that should give you your worth, then you'll use money as such. The second thing is judging your past. One of my biggest shifts was understanding that I did the best I could with the knowledge that I had at that time. And I had to let go of the shame that I was feeling, of the guilt that I was feeling, because I would often think to myself, I wasted money. Yes, I was able to make money, but I wasted it. I didn't save for long term and all that. Like, those are the mistakes that I did in the past, and that kept me stuck. Because if I wanted to do something, I was like, I'm not going to do it well because in the past I did this. So once I understood that I did the best with the knowledge that I had at that time, then everything shifted for me. Then I understood that guilt will keep you stuck, but compassion will allow you to grow. The next exciting thing that I realized is that education creates confidence. I was never this confident about myself or my knowledge, but the more I learned, the more I became confident about myself, confident about my knowledge. So the time that I started learning about personal finance, budgeting, planning, all that, that's when I got to be able to sit in front of you guys and tell you about money, because now I'm confident that whatever questions that you may pose to me, I am going to be able to answer. As soon as you see progress, you are going to trust yourself more, and that is going to give you momentum to continue. And if you trust yourself with small things, then you can trust yourself with big things. Now I'm going to be talking about practical changes that I had to make. Firstly, I had to change my mindset. As I did mention, that February is for money mindset. So I had to change my mindset regarding money. I had to see money as a tool. I had to see money as the thing that can give me freedom, not the thing that defines my worth. I had to understand that money is a tool and that I need to use it as such. I need to remove my emotions from it and just make sure that whatever decisions that I make are logical. After I shifted my mindset, I needed someone to show me that it is possible. So I started listening to people who talk about money, people who are good with their finances, because I understood that the environment is also important. You need to change your environment. So I had to change the kind of content that I consume on my social media. So most of my content, especially on YouTube, is regarding financial education. That's the second thing that I do before I could start budgeting and all that, because that's where I learned how to budget from watching videos. And then the second thing that I did was to start budgeting. I started planning for my money each month. So if ever I had my salary, before I spend it, I sat down with my money and I allocated it to different expenses. That's where I started budgeting, and I didn't end there. I started tracking my expenses. Underneath my budget spreadsheet, I have a section where I write my grocery list, the petrol that I pour per month, and all that. So I started tracking my expenses, and that was a game changer. I saw where my money went, and if my money went in a direction that I didn't want, guess what? I had control. I had to just relocate it to the direction that I wanted it to go. So that was number two. Fourth thing that I did, I started saving. I started saving with intention. I understood that I need savings for the long term. I don't just save, because my mistake was I used to save for December and then chow that money, and then the next year I do the very same thing. That was the shame that I felt for so long, and I had to forgive myself for that and start again saving. And once I started saving and seeing my savings grow, that's when I also gained confidence, and then I started investing. Even though I started investing before I started saving, because investing, I was fortunate enough to come across someone who just introduced me to easy equities, and those were the early days. So I quickly jumped, because I'm always that curious individual who just wants to try things, and I've always loved money. The next decision that I made was for me to teach whatever I am learning, so that I can learn in the best way, because once you teach something, you understand it better. And I saw that when I was watching the financial content, I was also learning so much, and it really changed my finances. So I wanted to do that for the next person. For the next person who says, I'm tired of this life, I'm tired of not seeing where my money goes, I'm tired of not being able to save. I just want to be there as an example to show that, if you start taking your finances serious, and if you start learning, and if you start giving yourself grace and time, then your situation will change. The money will just start growing, and you'll see that you won't be stressed as much, because, as I did mention, that I'm unemployed, but you won't see that I'm unemployed, because I have my savings, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for myself for allowing me to do that for myself, you know. Yeah, it also helps you to leave the environments that no longer aligns with your purpose, and start focusing on the things that grows you as a person, because sometimes we just stay in environments just because we are earning that money. But once you start building your emergency fund, trust me, life will change. So the biggest lesson here is to understand that money is a tool. It does not define your worth, and that it just reveals your systems, your habits, and also reveals who you truly are. And if you're struggling with money emotionally, start there, heal that relationship, then numbers will follow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video so that it is suggested to a large audience. Share this with your loved ones. Thank you for allowing me in your space and lending me your ear. Always remember that I love you. Have a lovely, productive day. Bye.